Hello S2 and welcome to your next Monasteries lesson, which is looking at how are young people treated by the justice system. So in your jotter, if you take a new heading, which is how are young people treated by the justice system, or if you're doing this on a Word document, if you want to type this up, how are young people treated by the justice system. Now what we're aiming to do in this lesson is we're looking firstly to understand the age at which you have legal rights and legal responsibilities, then to understand the youth justice system and how it actually works, and to apply this knowledge of the youth justice system to some case studies which you will look at. So to start with, we're going to look to understand the age at which you have legal rights and legal responsibilities. Now, how old do you have to be? Now, what we're asking you to do on the next slide here is, can you identify how old you need to be to do all the things on the list? Now, there's a big list here, so what I'd like you to do is to even pick 4 of the points on the list here. I want you to write them down in your jotter, and I want you to, in your jotter, beside the points you write down, try and write down what age you think you need to be to do these things. So for example, you can buy a pet. What age do you think you need to be? How old do you need to be to buy a pet? So write that down in your jotter. 4 you're looking to pick in total. If you pause the video at this point, and then the next slide will reveal the age that you need to be, and you can obviously put the correct age beside whatever one you have picked. So here are the answers here about the different ages that you have to be to do certain things. Some may surprise you, some may not, but these are the age limits that are there. So look at the 4 that you picked and make sure you write down the correct age beside the 4 which you picked. So our first aim today was to understand the age at which you have legal rights and legal responsibilities. So that last task there lets you see the age where you have legal rights and legal responsibilities over certain areas. So what we're going to look at next is to understand the youth justice system. Now, if you remember John, what you're looking to do is to complete a diagram on the next slide of what will happen to John as I explain it. Now, John got in trouble for theft and trespassing on a neighbour's property. John thought he'd end up in the civil magistrate's courts for his mistakes, but it seems there's another route mapped out for him: youth justice, because John is only 15. So we have this slide here which says what's going to happen to John. So you've got informal warning, reprimand, final warning, youth offending team and youth court. Which one do you think John will get and why? So you can either sketch this diagram in your jotter, or if you want to just take it in note form you can, and we're going to go over each of these stages here, and you're looking to add in this to your jotter to understand the different stages of the youth justice system and how this actually works. So I will talk you through each one, and you're looking to note it down in your jotters. Again, if you want to draw this diagram and do it like that, you can. So you could pause the video at this point to do this, or if you want to take it in a different note form, you can do that as well. So what's going to happen to John? So firstly, informal warning. Now this is basically a telling off from the police, and this is usually only for first or very minor offences. So it's an informal warning given by the police. Then reprimand. So if the offence is more serious, they will be given a reprimand at the police station in the presence of your parents or carers. So you could be reprimanded in a police station if the offence is a bit more serious. The next stage of the youth justice system is a final warning. So if the offence is more serious, then you'll be given a final warning and be referred to the youth offending team, YOT for short. If it goes even further, then you're referred to the youth offending team. This is a team made up of police, social services, education and probation officers that will work with the young offender and offer counselling to try and improve your behaviour. And this will be, or look to encourage the people to apologise to any victims that have suffered due to their crimes. And if we go through all those stages and it's a very, very serious crime, then you could end up in youth court. Now this is for very, very serious, or if you've had 3+ offences, and there is the possibility here of you being put in a youth offenders institute, which would be a custodial sentence or a heavy fine. So that is the different stages of the youth justice system. So you're looking to note these down in your jotter, either lay it out as it is here, or you might take it in a different note form, but these are the different stages here of the youth justice system. Now remember, John was caught for shoplifting and trespassing, so his neighbours accepted an apology and it didn't go to civil court in the end, but the police still recorded it as antisocial behaviour. So if that's went down, which one do you think John will get and why? Well, you could argue he might actually be given an informal warning, but because he's committed shoplifting and he has trespassed, it may be the case he's actually referred to youth offending team, because he's then going to be encouraged to apologise to his victims, which he has done. Likelihood is John wouldn't end up in youth court for this due to the fact he has apologised to his victim. Okay, so our second aim today was look to understand the youth justice system, so we've just went over there and discussed that there. What we're going to look at next is to apply this knowledge to case studies. Now, youth crime case studies. You're going to read through the case studies, there's only 3 in total, and decide what you think should happen to each offender. Now, I want you to think about the age of the offender firstly, what they have actually done, and if they have offended before. Now, you're looking to record your answers in your jotters, and think about as well for Restretch and Challenge, why are young people treated differently by the law? So as I said, 3 case studies in total, case study 1, case study 2 and case study 3. So you need to write down for each case study what you think should happen. So on the left hand side here you have what do you think should happen to the young offender. Think about the age of the offender, what they have done and whether they have offended before. You need to decide if they get a reprimand, if they get a final warning, if they're going to be sent to youth court. So you have case study 1, which is John. John is 14 years old. He has been picked up by the police for joyriding. So joyriding means he's stolen a car and is now taking it for a joyride, for example, or it could be a motorbike that he's possibly stolen, or a van. He was part of a group that took a car and drove several miles along country lanes before abandoning it in a town centre. John says he just went along with 2 older boys who took and drove the car. It is his first offence, however he has been taken home by the police late at night for causing disturbances on the estate where he lives. So you need to decide what should happen to John. Is it going to be a reprimand, taken to the police station, his parents or carers phoned? Is it going to be a final warning from the police? Is he going to be sent to youth court? Case study 2. Sarah is 15, she's been truanting home from school and with several mates has been causing disturbances in the local shopping centre. Shopkeepers and the public have complained. Recently the group did some damage to the plants and flowers in the shopping centre. So again, think about what should happen to Sarah. The last case study is Michael. Michael has been caught mugging other young people for their mobile phones. He has made people hand over their mobile phones by threatening them and handling them roughly, but he has never hit anyone or used any weapons. So again, think about, for Michael, what punishment you think he should be given. So our last aim today was to apply this knowledge to case studies. So we've looked at 3 case studies there and you've decided what should happen based on the youth justice system, where they should be placed in that. Okay, what we're going to do next is a poster task. So what you're looking to do is choose one of the age limits which we discussed at the start of this lesson. So I asked you to pick 4 and write down the correct age that you had to be to do those things. So you just need to pick one of them. What you're going to do is produce a poster advertising this age limit for people that might not be aware of it. So for example, you might make a poster saying that you need to be 12 years old to buy a pet. So that's just an example of one. So you decide which one you want to pick and you're looking to make a poster on it advertising this age limit for people that might not be aware of it. Okay, the last part of this lesson we're just talking about, is the law too soft on under 18s? Now the media has been very, very quick to point out that youth crime is a big problem in the UK. Do you think sentences are maybe too soft or too harsh on young people? Is the youth justice system needing change? Is it needing reformed? Is it to blame for the high levels of youth crime? Over the last 5 years, which we'll be looking at next lesson, gang culture has soared across the UK. So we're looking to think about, is the youth justice system to blame for this? Do we need to be harsher towards people, or are we too soft? So for your planner here, you have an extentometer. So we've got the statement here, the law is too soft on under 18s in Scotland. So you need to say if you strongly agree with that, somewhat agree, somewhat disagree, or strongly disagree. Try and give a reason for your answer as well. Okay, so from this lesson, what we're looking to upload via the assignment tab on Teams. You should have your 4 age limits, which you've written down, and have the correct age limits beside each. What's going to happen to John in the youth justice system? So note down the different stages of that. Answers to the 3 case studies, so what you think should happen in each of the case studies. A poster on the age limits, and the plenary of the extentometer, so you decide if you agree or disagree with this statement and give a reason for your answer. Again, if you have any questions at all about anything covered in this lesson, then please just let your teacher know. Thank you very much.